6. Pope John the 23rd. Dante had many allies now. Modernism, modern Judaism, Freemasonry, Illuminism, and many other movements, all aiming at creating paradise on earth on the foundation and in the power of men of goodwill. The end of the Christian world was openly desired by many and a post-Christian era called for. It was with great rejoicing that such forces hailed the encyclical of Pope John the 23rd, April 10, 1963, addressed, among others, to all men of goodwill on establishing universal peace in truth, justice, charity, and liberty. In Part 6 of the encyclical, Pope John declared modern states insufficient to ensure the universal common good. More was clearly needed. But his answer was not Christian law in these modern states, but rather a world community. As is known, the United Nations Organization, UNO, was established on June 26, 1945, and to it there were subsequently added intergovernmental agencies with extensive international tasks in the economic, social, cultural, educational, and health fields. The United Nations Organization has as its essential purpose the maintenance and consolidation of peace between peoples, fostering between them friendly relations based on the principles of equality, mutual respect, and varied forms of cooperation in every sector of human society. An act of the highest importance performed by the United Nations Organization was the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, approved in the General Assembly of December 10, 1948. In the preamble of that declaration, the recognition and respect of those rights and respective liberties is proclaimed as an ideal to be pursued by all peoples and all countries. Some objections and reservations were raised regarding certain points in the declaration. There is no doubt, however, that the document represents an important step on the path towards the juridical political organization of the world community. For in it, in most solemn form, the dignity of a person is acknowledged to all human beings, and as a consequence there is proclaimed, as a fundamental right, the right of free movement in the search for truth and in the attainment of moral good and justice, and also the right to a dignified life, while other rights connected with those mentioned are likewise proclaimed. It is our earnest wish that the United Nations Organization, in its structure and in its means, may become ever more equal to the magnitude and nobility of its tasks, and that the day may come when every human being will find therein an effective safeguard for the rights which derive directly from his dignity as a person, and which are therefore universal, inviolable, and inalienable rights. This is all the more to be hoped for, since all human beings, as they take an ever more active part in the public life of their own political communities, are showing an increasing interest in the affairs of all peoples and are becoming more consciously aware that they are living members of a world community. The Pope's concern was the world community, not the Christian community, and his hope was for a just world order based on man as man rather than Christian man. The echoes of Joachim, Dante, modernism, and Masonic ideas were clearly in evidence. The Pope denied that an ongoing historical movement such as a state and its authority could be equated or identified with its false doctrine. The comment of Father J.F. Cronin, SS, on this passage was that Pope John notes that even in communism there are elements of truth and idealism. Pope John did not refer to the USSR, although his generalization very clearly included it, and his statements implied more than Father Cronin stated. It must be borne in mind, furthermore, that neither can false philosophical teachings regarding the nature, origin, and destiny of the universe and of man be identified with historical movements that have economic, social, cultural, or political ends, not even when these movements have originated from those teachings and have drawn and still draw inspiration therefrom. Because the teachings, once they are drawn up and defined, remain always the same, while the movements, working on historical situations in constant evolution, cannot but be influenced by these latter and cannot avoid, therefore, being subject to changes, even of a profound nature. Besides, who can deny that those movements, insofar as they conform to the dictates of reason and are interpreters of the lawful aspirations of the human person, contain elements that are positive and deserving of approval? It can happen, then, that a drawing nearer together for a meeting for the attainment of some practical end, which was formerly deemed inopportune, is useful. It is not surprising that the major communist parties of Western Europe greeted the Pope's call for peace and disarmament and regarded it with immense satisfaction. A little later, Cardinal Sunin represented Pope John at the United Nations in early May by presenting Secretary-General U Tant a copy of the Pope's encyclical Pacem in Terris,